Guys, we come fresh from Lamine Yamal's renewal last week, where he inherited Barcelona's number 10, probably one of the most legendary shirts in football history and in the football world in general. But is that shirt a blessing or a curse? We're going to see this and much more in today's episode of Barca from Us. And with that, we're going to do our first tier list. So I'm very, very excited with that. We're going to have all players, new players. We're not going to have all of them because it would be crazy. And keep in mind that especially with some of the olds, the number 10 wasn't such an official thing. But still, we want to rank them all. I think you guys will be surprised what happens with players like Maradona and Riquelme. So let's get into it, Ka.
Let's get into it. And before I explain all and every one of the tiers, guys, remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot. And yeah, so I'm going to start by, kind of giving a general explanation about each of the tiers because I want you guys to know what you're looking for in every one of them. And then we're going to go ahead and start with the tier list. So yeah, the GOATS tier is just reserved for the
Easy.
guys that have been on before and after, that have had a huge impact in the club. Legends is guys that have had a big impact in the club and they have been many years and they have had, you know, really good years and won a lot of titles and, kind of this. I mean, legend is kind of self explanatory. Then stars, which is a step below that. It's basically
I
players
feel
that,
like we can also say like goats, you would put a statue outside of the field.
yeah, yeah.
Legends, you would retire their number.
Hmm.
Stars, maybe you had their share when you were a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then respected is guys, that have earned the respect of the fans by playing many years or by doing some great feats in the team. Mid is,
Meat is meat,
well, I
man.
mean,
Meat needs no explanation.
yeah, needs no explanation. It's a
Meh.
step below respected. Obviously, they have been, you know, all
Meat.
right, sometimes all right, sometimes not so all right, and then curse these guys who have not been up to the task of wearing that number 10 shirt, or they came kind of short of the expectations, right?
All right, Ka. So it's a heavy shirt, and I want to start with the easiest one because the first layer of the tier it's called goats, but it could may as well be called Messi because he's the goat. How you
Yeah,
feeling about this one? Easy.
yeah. I think this one is pretty clear. Obviously, Messi is the number one. I mean, there's no one above him in
And
that. In
like I don't want to like waste too much time on it. Even when I
Yeah.
was asking on Twitter, like if people would be interested for us doing this ranking, one of the options was like Messi's the number one, and then the rest I don't care, right?
Yeah.
Best player in history. I don't think that anyone will ever get close. Crazy amount of Ballon d'Ors, crazy amount of titles. I mean, if at this point I have to explain who Leo Messi is, you've I don't know lived under a rock somewhere. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I think we agree on that. So, all right.
I mean, but just for the sake of it, because I have it in the notes: 10 leagues, 8 Spanish Super Cups, 7 Copa del Reys, 4 Champions League, 3 European Super Cups, blah 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 blah. Right?
Yeah.
Play. The stats are crazy, man.
Like 600.
709
Yeah.
goals in 837 games,
Exactly.
18 seasons,
Yeah. I mean,
whatever. All right, so let's go into the next guy. I'll throw you the numbers and we'll put him where he needs to be. That
mhm.
is Gary Lineker, which, by the way, I think it's the previous Englishman that played in Barca before we just kind
Yeah.
of like got Rashford, which is kind of like very fitting that
Mhm.
we officially start with him because obviously Messi was a given. So Gary Lineker, 58 goals in 150 games, 3 seasons, second in Ballon d'Or while playing for Barca, Golden Boot, one of the best English players at the time. And I would argue that even better commentator. Like he's had a very good career on the TV, and I think I like him very much. Like the way that he speaks and he sides with like or he goes against injustices and he speaks his mind. In terms of trophies, it wasn't great. Copa del Rey and a winners cap, which I don't even know what that is. I mean, back in the day, like sometimes they had these kind of like weird trophies that now you have to go back and see if they have an equivalent. But how are we
Yeah.
feeling with Lineker? What's your take, huh?
Yeah. I think, without being a crazy number 10 on the Barca's history, I think with time. Barca fans have always been, proud of Lineker being a part of our club, and so I don't know. I feel like he should fit in the either stars or respected. Probably more leaning towards respected, right?
I'm good with respected. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Oof, this one. All right, guys. The next one is one that maybe not everyone's gonna be happy with, but we have Pep Guardiola, obviously a legend of the club. But what about his playing time? 16 goals in 480 games, 12 seasons, one of the captains of the dream team, arguably the best coach ever, although this doesn't really matter for this conversation. Six leagues, one Champions League, two Copa del Reys, and some other trophies. My take with him is that I wouldn't say he was the best player of the team he was playing on in Dream Team. I think he played with players that I think represented better what the number 10 usually is. And you guys, when we go through some of the players, you'll understand what we mean for this, because the number 10 is like, it's magic, it's creativity, it's the technique, it's the flashiness, right? And I think Guardiola playing more like Sergio Busquets was a different type of profile. My take, respected.
Yeah, I agree. I think Guardiola, obviously, you mentioned before, the guys that you would make a statue out of the Camp Nou for them. I mean, this is probably one of them, but not because of his player era, more because of his coaching era, right? And so, yeah, I think as a player, he was good, and he was respected definitely in Barca, but not one of the stars, legend, or goats, I would say. So, yeah.
All right, the next one is a funny one because it's one of these guys that played both for Barcelona and Madrid.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
Michael
yeah.
Laudrup, 96 goals in 297 games, 6 seasons. He also became a coach, and it's really, really funny because he was a coach for Getafe, which is probably like, I don't know, like he and Getafe are like completely polar opposites, right?
Yeah,
If you think about
yeah,
it,
yeah.
at least the modern Getafe.
Mm.
One of the best players when he was playing, at least known in the world, and for sure, if you think about it, the best Danish player ever. He was very, very technical, and he had that kind of like closer to the number 10 that we play style of play. Four
Mhm.
leagues, one Copa del Rey, one Champions League, part of that dream team of Johan Cruyff.
Mhm.
How do we feel with this one, Ka?
I don't know if it's enough to call him a legend, but for sure he's a star, I would say. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that.
By the way, just so you guys know, when Iniesta was starting to come up, they used to call him the new Laudrup. Just so you
Yeah.
guys know what that means, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Next one, Luis Suarez, which is this is one of the OGs, 138 goals in 254 games in 9 seasons for Barca. Um, Weird trophies at the time, but he's the only Ballon d'Or from Spain. The issue that I
Mhm.
have with that is when people speak of Luis Suarez, it's almost more of like a Spanish legend than a Barca legend. That's why
Mhm.
if I think about it, I would put him probably in respected.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously he was a really good player in Barca because he won the Ballon d'Or. I think in the 60 in the 1960,
Yep.
where when he was wearing the Barca shirt. But at the same time, like I don't think he won that many trophies or he was that big a part of Barca as a team. He was obviously a great figure, but yeah, I lean more towards respected than anything else. To be completely honest, yeah.
Okay, Jari Lidmanen from Finland, 11 goals in 40 games, 2 seasons. He was very good in the 90s. He came from Ajax to Barcelona, so Bengal's Barcelona, because Bengal came from that team as well.
Mhm.
And guys, I have to give it to him. I think this is going to be our first cursed. Um, I think expectations were very, very high. He had very, very inconsistency problems he was very, very inconsistent in Barcelona, injuries, playing time. At the time, Figo and Rivaldo ended up taking his spot more than him doing it. So, fell short.
Yeah, I think he fell short for sure. And he was injured a lot, and yeah, he obviously big expectations, really poor results. So yeah, I think it's the first deserved cursed position here.
Next one,
So
Paulinho Alcantara. And for those that like the NBA, this is our Bill Russell. So black and
Yeah.
white era, crazy numbers, but no one really has his in the GOAT conversations, right? We're talking about the guy that held the record of most goals in the club before Messi took it. This guy had like 407 goals in 405 games, which I think already it's crazy. Played 16 seasons, but this is like in the 1912, 1920s era, which is crazy old.
Yeah.
Um, there is this kind of like stories about him having such a powerful shot that he would strip a net. Um, Obviously, we have not seen him play, and
Yeah.
it's a very, very different era. But I would say that given his spot in the top scorer of the club until Messi came, he needs to be a legend of the club.
Yeah, I think so. I think the term legend fits perfectly for a guy like him, and especially because of the stat you mentioned. I think he deserves it for sure.
All right, next one, real quick. Romario, famous for that crazy goal that scored against Madrid. 53 goals in 84 games, 2 seasons. A lot of people say it's one of the highest scorers in football history. Only won one La Liga title in Barcelona. How are we feeling, Ka?
Yeah, it's the problem, right? When I think of Romario, and I remember because I was very little when he came to Barca, and I actually watched some games at that time. I remember, obviously not really clearly because I was really little, but yeah, when I think of Romario, I think of a crazy good player. But at the same time, as you mentioned, I mean, the numbers are there, right? He was a really good player, but he only played for 2 seasons and he only won one La Liga title.
He was part of the tail end of the Cruyff team that
Yeah,
I think was defeated 4-0 in the final of the Champions
yeah,
League.
yeah.
Very flashy. One of these guys that you would have your share, like that you would admire. You want to play like him and whatnot. But in terms of impact, besides the culture, I don't see that much. That's why I would go with stars.
Yeah, I think the Stars is fair. Obviously, he was a big star, but at the same time, he did not do enough for the club to be considered a legend. So I think that's a good
All right,
spot.
next one. I don't even want to talk about him.
Ronaldinho Gaucho. I think this is the only guy who we ever consider to put in the GOAT kind of category because he just changed the way Barca was perceived, not only all over the world, but also by the same fans of the Barca team. I think he kind of gave us that,
He
illusion.
resurrected the team, man. He took a
Yeah.
team that was like sad, mopey, crying. He bring that
Mhm.
smile, the jogo bonito, the elastico. I mean, guys, if you like football, you like Ronaldinho. I still have to find someone that doesn't like him. Personally, my favorite player ever. Please, like Messi, don't hear me say this, but I always like watching Ronaldinho more than I like watching Messi because what he would do was so crazy, and I would just go and try it in the games that I was playing myself. Like that was the thing for me, right? And it may be one of these things where it's more like generational, but I've never seen anything like him, man. And the way he changed the history for Barcelona, bringing the smile back for us, and even kind of like being the godfather for Messi when he was coming up,
Yeah.
gotta be on that top, man.
Yeah, man. The only man to ever make it close to Messi, I would say, in Barca. So, yeah, for sure.
Rivaldo. Guys, if you're Barca fans, you must have watched the chilena, the I don't know how you even call that in English,
Yeah.
but the bicycle kick, I guess, against
Mhm.
Valencia. That I mean, imagine how things were back then. Like he scored that bicycle kick goal to help us get into the Champions League in the fourth place or something like that, which we were not doing that great.
Mhm.
But nevertheless, like he spent a fair amount of time in the club, 5 seasons, 137 goals in 253 games. He was a very good free kick scorer. Won a couple La Ligas, a Copa del Rey, won a Ballon d'Or, which is also awesome. So,
Mhm.
I think it's clear, no?
Yeah, I think he clearly deserves a legend spot. I think, and he is a big legend of the club. Obviously, anyone who has watched Barca for the last more than 20 years, he will tell you that Rivaldo was an amazing player for Barca. So
I would
yeah,
even have him before Paulinho Alcantara, by the way. But
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Yeah, I agree. All right. So the
all
next
right,
one.
Jika Haji.
Yeah.
18 goals in 76 games, 2 seasons. Brother-in-law of Popescu, by the way, which is kind of funny. He was
Mhm.
called the Maradona of the Carpathians, if I say that right in English, which is like the area in Romania where he comes from. But the
Mhm.
reality is, he really wasn't that for us. I think it's one of these cases where he came with the big name and high expectations, but under delivered, and victim of the curse.
Yeah, I think it's another one to the cursed kind of tier.
Man,
Yeah,
and it feels that they come in pairs, because the next one also also goes with them.
yeah, it's Ansu Fati. Yeah, a guy that obviously came from the La Masia and promised a lot. He had a really good kind of chain of matches, but in the end, he was injured, unfortunately. And yeah, when he came back, he never was the same. We don't
Man,
know if it
being
was because
number 10 after Messi,
yeah,
impossible. I'm
yeah,
I think Ansu Fati did Lamine Yamal a favor. Like,
yeah.
maybe he took the curse and kind of like cleaned the shirt out of the curse. So, Lamine could take it fresh.
Mhm. So yeah, I think Ansu Fati,
Straight up
unfortunately,
there.
yeah,
Yep.
he deserves the cursed kind of tier. It's kind of unfortunate, because he was injured and everything, but it is what it is, man. I mean, yeah,
Giovanni da Silva, 44 goals in 137 games, 3 seasons. Not to be confused with Giovanni,
yeah,
which was some sort of scam that we suffered. And those that know will know. If you know, you know. Um,
Mhm.
he is famous from scoring goals against Real Madrid and giving them
yeah,
the middle finger, literally in a celebration. Guys,
yeah,
this is the making of a star.
yeah, 100%. I think,
Someone that gets his like fame out of scoring goals to Madrid and doing that to the eternal rival. Nothing less than that, man.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
But now let's get into the hot topics. Maradona.
Maradona.
Some
Yeah.
calling him the GOAT, although people that said that are probably older than 40 and don't want to admit that Messi surpassed him like times 10. But if we want to talk Maradona, this is another case of someone that really didn't spend that much time in the club. He played in the 80s, 48 goals in 76 games, only 2 seasons. At the time, the most expensive player that I think maybe in the football history it was 7 million. Like, think about it. At some point,
Mhm.
Maradona was worth 7 million. This guy has a church. I mean,
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
right? Like, it's probably one of the most intense fan bases ever. Obviously, what he did for Argentina, blah 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 blah. But when we talk about Barca, it's not so much about Maradona as a whole with the legend. It's more so about those 2 seasons in the club.
Mhm.
Sorka, where do we have him?
Yeah. I think it's kind of similar case to Romario, right? Like
Definitely.
obviously, he was a star because he's always been a star. I mean, this guy, watching him play was obviously a great show, but at the same time, he didn't do enough for the club where you would say, "Wow, this guy is a legend of the club." I would have him more in the star.
I think he is a legend of the club because we
Yeah.
take the whole thing around him, and he's played in Barcelona. So obviously you're gonna be proud of Maradona being in Barcelona. But for us, in this case, evaluating what we believe people have given to the club, we
Hmm.
believe that Maradona is kind of like one step below some of the others,
Yeah.
even if he was still the greatest, right? And something that I don't know who told me once, but like Messi, no, Maradona was Maradona once a month. Messi
Hmm.
was Maradona every weekend. And I
Yeah.
think that's one of the differences that has elevated Messi above the original GOAT, right?
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah.
All right, Kat. The next one is Guillermo Amor, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
93 goals in 570 matches, 14 seasons. He ended up having roles in La Masia, obviously, youth academy for Barcelona. And
Hmm.
he left the club being the guy with most titles in Barca history when that happened. 5 La Ligas, 4 Spanish Super Cups, 3 Copa del Rey, 1 Champions League, blah, 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 blah. When you leave the club or when you retire from a club, being the player with most trophies in its history, and this is no small club, what do we have with that guy?
Yeah. I obviously this guy is really respected among the team, but I think this guy deserves one spot above. I think this guy is a star, and I think he's remembered as one. Obviously, when he retired, being one of the player with the most titles in the history of Barca. That speaks volumes about what he did in the club. And so we discussed if he was deserving of the legend tier, but we think that spot is reserved for a more kind of charismatic players, let's say, right? So yeah, this guy wasn't that kind of charismatic, but in terms of what the accomplishments, he obviously earns the spot easily.
All right, next one's gonna be quick. Hugo Sotil, probably one of the few, if not the only Peruvian player that has played in Barcelona, wearing the number 10, playing alongside Johan Cruyff player. So back to the OGs.
Hmm.
I think it was 3, 4 seasons, maybe one trophy. Just okay. So shall we have
Yeah,
him in the mid area?
yeah. I think let's put one guy here, right? Because we have this tier empty. So yeah, I think the mid tier is good for this guy. Yeah.
Next one's going to be quick as well. Julio Salinas. I think a lot of people know him more from TV and being
Yeah.
in kind of like trashy and funny programs now and shows than actually playing. But this guy was kind of like Luke de Jong before Luke de Jong. He was
Yeah.
known just for like what you said, Kat, right? Heading a fridge into the goal if he had to like. That
Yeah.
was his thing, right? Not a
Hmm.
very like flashy player. But there he is. Where do we put him?
I think he fits into the mid tier as well. I would say, right? Yeah, I think that's a good spot. By the way, it's kind of crazy to see that center forward as him wear the number 10 shirt, right? Like it seems that before
Yeah.
the number 10 shirt was like,
I mean, but as I said at the beginning, I think it was a little bit more dynamic. This
yeah.
guy had almost like 150 goals in 300 games, so not too bad. And
Hmm.
he was part of the dream team, which is always an accomplishment. I'm going to skip the next one. I'm going to go with Victor Munoz, which, without getting into too many details, I would probably also have admit.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this guy obviously he played in the club and had some good accomplishments, but yeah, nothing too crazy, and I don't think he did enough to earn that kind of respect
Seven
that he.
seasons, one of these more like consistent, foundational, not so flashy, not so relevant, at least from our point of view. We obviously were not there to see it. The
Mhm.
next one, though, I think we're back on top. Ladislao Kubala from Hungary? Bulgari? No, Bulgari, right? I think he was
Bulgari.
from
No, Bulgari
um,
is Stoikov, I think. Right?
Hungary. Then I always kind of like mix them.
Yeah.
Kubala is the reason for which Camp Nou exists today. Like, think about it. He was one of these very first like big stars. So the kind of like small stadium where Barca was playing had to be replaced for something bigger because so many people were going to see Kubala, right? And I mean, this is an era where like football was a very rudimentary thing. But I mean, there are like streets with his name in Barcelona, and he has a statue and all that kind of stuff. So no doubt he's a legend of the club.
Yeah, and I would even argue that he is number
He's
one
bigger
here.
than the other two, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's do Eusebio, and I think this is another of these kind of like more like boring ones, to be honest. Um, I mean, I don't know how you feel about him, Ka.
I mean, he's been obviously known for a long time in the club because he has earned a place on the heart of the fans and everything. So I think without being too flashy, without being one of these guys who, kind of have that aura, I think he just falls naturally into the respected tier. I think that's about it.
Yeah, he was also coach of the B team and then part of the staff of the first team, so I think that
Hmm.
helped. One of my favorite players, all character. The guy hates Madrid like a fan, and hearing him talk, it's so funny. But I remember him because he was an electric wing. He would leave it all. He was pure like soul and will, and it was very very easy for the fans to root for him. And I think he's one of the biggest fans of the club as of today. We're talking about Hristo Stoikov, also winner of the Ballon d'Or with Barcelona,
Hmm.
and one of these very important figures in the club history. For me, legend.
Yeah, I think he's a legend for sure. The question is, do you put him below or above Rivaldo?
Uh, that's tough. I would put it above Rivaldo.
And below Kubala, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but maybe also because Rivaldo had to live through more of like a darker era than
Yeah.
Stoichkov. I mean, let me go through these real quick, but 163 goals in 342 games, 8 seasons, won the Ballon d'Or, second place some other time, Dream Team, one of the best players from his country, 5 La Ligas, 2 Copa del Reys, 1 Champions League. I mean, he definitely won more than
Yeah.
Rivaldo in the club. Marcos Alonso, father, which this is a very, very funny story. The father of Marcos Alonso Sr. played for Madrid. Marcos Alonso played for Barcelona. And then the son of this guy grew up in Madrid, played in Madrid, went to England, and then come back to Barcelona, which is kind of like a funny thing if you think about it. Like that 3-generational run, but meat.
Yeah, I think this is a guy that's not that well remembered in terms of accomplishments, and I don't think he did enough to earn that respected tier. So yeah, I think a mid tier is fine for him. All right.
Jose Mari Vaquero, one of the great captains of the Dream Team, and obviously won everything with the Dream Team, and that some of these other players were part of as well. Respected.
Yeah, I think I would see it nice. I mean, fitting into both respected or stars. He's kind of in that kind of border, right? So I think we might put him in the top of the respected tier. I think that's a good place for him.
And then the last one, and I wonder if people will guess this one right. Messi vindicated him in the World Cup where he kind of like scored the goal and did the celebration in front of Van Gaal, because Van Gaal didn't treat Riquelme too well when Riquelme was at Barca. I was so hyped when we signed him because he was very, very good. One of these like very technical players, flashy, throwing nutmegs and whatnot. But I'm gonna go with the cursed.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and this is more not because he was bad, but because I mean, we mentioned at the beginning, right? The cursed is kind of expectations facing results, right? And so the expectations for this guy were super high. Obviously, he was a super good talent from, I think it was in Boca, right, before coming here.
Yep.
And obviously he never reached that kind of ceiling that we were expecting him to reach. And so, yeah, we decided to put him in the cursed. I think that's a little bit of a polemic decision, I would say. But, guys, we are open to reading in the comments. Tell us which kind of changes would you make to this tier list. I think it's all right overall in terms of, what we think.
And also remember, we're not ranking based on pure skill, right? Probably Maradona would be on the first layer and stuff like that, or Riquelme obviously wouldn't be in that. But this is more about how it went for them in the club when it happened, right? We just came again of Lamine getting the number 10. So we hope that he ends up actually closer to the legends, right? Or even the GOATs, if everything goes well. I would very much love that. But a lot of legends have wore this number, and it's not an easy task. A lot of eyes looking at you, a lot of expectations. Not everyone live up to it, right? Guys, please let us know in the comments if you agree, if you don't, if you hate us, if you think we're crazy. We'll be very much happy to go back and answer the comments, agree to disagree, right? But we wanted to thank you guys for keeping up with us. We'll see you in the next one, and
Visca Barça. See you next, guys. Bye.
In the beginning, there was something where people laughed about because they didn't understand that it was football, and until it had a result and people enjoyed it, people loved it, and now it's a fantastic work.
Gracias. No hace falta decir nada más.